A lot of people believe that Bitcoin is digital gold, right? Supposedly, it's inflation-proof, free from the banking system, and independent from governments. But, I want to ask you a question that many are afraid to answer. If Bitcoin is really that great, why hasn't a single major country kept Bitcoin in their national reserves? The USA doesn't keep any, China doesn't keep any either. Japan, the UK, Switzerland, all of them still keep physical gold, not digital coins. Yet here you are, with just enough salary to get by, being told to believe that some coin from the internet is more valuable than gold, which, from the time of the pharaohs to the age of AI, is still being mined, stored, and defended as the most powerful asset on Earth. Think carefully, are we really storing wealth, or just collecting a digital illusion that hasn't stood the test of time? Since the dawn of civilization, only one thing has consistently symbolized wealth and power: physical gold. From ancient Egypt, the pharaohs' empires buried gold with their bodies because they believed that treasure would follow them into the afterlife. When Alexander the Great conquered the world, gold from Persia was sent back to Greece as a symbol of victory. When Rome built its empire, they created the Aureus gold coin system, and the value of their empire revolved around the amount of gold they possessed. When the Islamic Empire expanded under the Abbasid Caliphate, gold dinars were used for transactions from Jerusalem to Andalusia. When the Malacca Sultanate was at its peak, gold bars became the main medium of trade with merchants from China, Arabia, and India. And gold wasn't just for decoration, it was the real global currency long before the concept of banks even existed. In contrast, what we have today is Bitcoin, yes, a virtual entity that only exists when there's an internet connection. When there's a blackout, Bitcoin loses its function, no miners, no transactions. When you lose the key, your assets disappear too. Now try comparing a stone from the earth, dug up with sweat and blood, held by kings and soldiers, to numbers on a screen that need a server to exist. The British took India's gold out to London. The Japanese stored gold in Switzerland during the World War. Even the Nazis seized Jewish gold to build up the strength of Nazi Germany. Gold has always been the first thing to be hidden when a country collapses, and the last thing that can be saved when the system falls. Never in the history of the world has anyone buried a digital wallet in their grave or fled a war carrying a laptop with a crypto wallet. What they bring, what they bite, what they sew into their clothes is always gold. So I ask you, do you want to follow in the footsteps of empires that have stood the test of time, or chase the empty promises of the digital age that isn't even old enough to make it into the archives? When Napoleon Bonaparte was building the French Empire, his country's gold reserves became the foundation of both military strategy and diplomacy. During World War II, the Bank of England hid more than 2,000 tons of gold belonging to European countries that were under attack by the Nazis. Because they know that when the system collapses, gold becomes the last lifeline. Even during the Gulf War, the United States seized Iraq's gold as part of political pressure. All this is happening in the modern world and not the Stone Age. Now let's ask the painful question. Where was Bitcoin when all this was happening? None. Does not exist. Zero. Bitcoin only appeared after 2009, and during that period it has crashed, lost keys several times, and worst of all, its value fluctuated worse than a failed national currency. Now imagine you live in Gaza or Sudan or Sri Lanka. Your country's financial system collapsed. The electricity supply was paralyzed. Will you save your wealth in the form of digital files? Or will you carry a small gold bar in your bag, sell it at the border, and save your child's life? Bitcoin is just a beautiful story on paper. But in the real world, bullets don't care about white papers. The world doesn't sympathize with digital wallets. The system won't let you redeem the value of Bitcoin without electricity and internet access. But gold remains the universal language among all civilizations from the time of Cleopatra to the era of Elon Musk. You can walk from Istanbul to Mumbai, from Riyadh to Bangkok, and gold is still accepted without needing a Google Translate. No algorithms, no mining, no hackers. Only authenticity that can be tested anywhere in the world. Bitcoin may look modern, but gold is what truly endures. When the world is shaken, people in major countries will go to the bank to exchange their money for gold, not for digital coins. And that's a historical fact that can't be denied, not even with 1,000 crypto white papers. Many Bitcoin supporters believe they're fighting for a modern financial revolution. But strangely, they themselves don't even know who they're following. Yeah, Satoshi Nakamoto, the founder of Bitcoin, is just a pseudonym. No photos, no voice, no real identity. The traditional investment world would never invest in a faceless entity. But in the crypto world, thousands of people are willing to risk their life savings on projects whose founders have vanished without a trace. Is this a revolution, or is it the most cunning trust scheme in modern history? And we haven't even gotten to the story of MT. Gox, once the world's largest crypto exchange, lost more than 850,000 bitcoins due to a mysterious hack, and to this day, there are victims who haven't gotten a single cent back. Now let me ask you, Aayan, if gold goes missing, at least we know who stole it and where it's kept. But when Bitcoin disappears, that's it, it's gone. No backup, no insurance, no heirs. Just a 9-page PDF note and empty promises on social media. So for those of you who HODL Bitcoin every day, believing the price will go to the moon, ask yourself one question. Are you actually holding an asset? Or are you just keeping a file written by a mysterious individual who might already be dead, or maybe, created by a government? You can keep fantasizing with the white paper and candlestick charts. But when the system collapses, when your family is starving, when the world blacks out digital wallets, you won't be able to save anyone. What will be left is just fake wealth in the form of data, that never even existed physically since the very first day you believed in it. In 2022, the world was shaken. Inflation skyrocketed, currency values dropped, commercial banks started collapsing one after another, including Silicon Valley Bank. But when crisis hits, major countries all do the same thing, they buy gold. Turkey, China, India, Singapore, Poland, all of them increased their country's physical gold reserves. Not a single G7 country has announced that they're buying Bitcoin as a hedge. Because they know gold isn't just a theory. Gold is a real financial instrument recognized by international central banks. It sits in the highest asset class category, a Tier 1 asset under the Basel III standard. This means central banks can use gold as immediate cash collateral without third-party risk. But Bitcoin isn't Tier 1, not even Tier 2. In fact, it hasn't even been accepted as an official reserve asset by any stable government. Bitcoin only exists in the retail crowd world, not in the real world of the global banking system. Central banks understand one crucial thing: system stability can't be built on technology that isn't mature yet. Gold has a 5,000-year track record. Bitcoin only appeared, 15 years ago, and in that short time it's already been the victim of dozens of scams, rug pulls, and exchange bankruptcies. The real financial system doesn't have time to play technology guessing games. Do you know the difference between gold holders and Bitcoin users? Those who keep gold are like landowners, quiet but solid. When everyone panics, he brings out his gold bars and does business. But Bitcoin users are like people wearing fake Gucci clothes. They look fancy on social media profiles, but in their wallets, all that's left is a screenshot of yesterday's value. When there's a blackout, gold can be bitten, tested, and weighed. But with Bitcoin, all you can do is show people and say, I have a file in the cloud, but now the server's down. Real assets don't need an explanation. They're automatically respected, but people who hold Bitcoin always have to explain why its value will go up someday. And that alone is a sign that you're not holding wealth, you're holding hope. The problem is, you can't take hope to the night market. Just imagine you go to the night market, wanting to buy Nossi Limak, corn juice, Karapopleka. Standing by the blood jar, you call and say, Bro Paku, I have 0.000001 BTC, can I transfer it? The Nossi Limak seller looks at you, scratches his head, and replies, Kid, I want money, not stories. Or you go to the clinic at 2 in the morning because your child has a high fever. The doctor says, treatment at 8 o'clock is fine too. You reply, hold on, doctor, I want to transfer Bitcoin but the node is congested, and the gas fee is a bit high tonight. The doctor immediately tells you to leave because your child needs medicine, not blockchain. Or even sadder, on the day of your death, you pass away but your entire life savings are in Bitcoin. Your children find the wallet, but there's no password. All that's left are memories and dreams of wealth. But if you keep gold, even if it's just a single 1G piece, it can become medicine, food, or your ticket home in an emergency. Gold doesn't need any explanation. No need for YouTube tutorials, no need for the internet. It only needs one thing: to be held and believed in. Whereas Bitcoin still requires you to explain why it will go up one day. And that's the clearest sign that you're not holding real wealth, you're just selling yourself a story. You keep, tens of thousands in Bitcoin today. But when your child is sick, when your mother needs surgery, when your car gets repossessed, that money can't be used, can't be withdrawn immediately. It can't be pawned. All you can do is watch the value go up and down on the screen and cry in silence. But if you keep 10 dinars in physical gold, you can go straight to Aranu and get 70 to 80% of the cash value immediately without even selling the gold. You can get the money today and redeem it back later. That's the difference between an asset you can actually use and an asset that just looks fancy but can't save your life. A lot of people in the M40 and B40 groups act like they want to be smart investors. When they hear diversify your assets, they immediately put 20% into Bitcoin, 10% into altcoins, 15% into stablecoins. But they forget that Bitcoin isn't a real asset for ordinary people. It's a speculative tool for those with extra money, not a place to save for people who are just getting by. Rich people can lose money and still sleep soundly. But a B40 person who puts their entire salary into digital coins can be left devastated when the value drops 60% in a week. But with gold, even if you put 100% of your savings in physical form, gold will never drop to zero. You can sell it to a friend, exchange it at a gold shop, keep it under your pillow or in a vault. You can decide for yourself when and where to get your money back without waiting for system approval or a blockchain node. Because gold is real and can be your savior when everything else fails. Now you have two choices. Option A, keep believing that Bitcoin is digital gold. Keep waiting for the price to go to the moon. Keep refreshing your wallet every day and living in a world of green and red candlesticks. But when there's a blackout, you can't withdraw a single cent. When death comes, no one knows your wallet password. When crisis hits, you can't buy medicine with a white paper. Option B, you open your eyes, you come back to reality. You realize that physical gold is the only asset that can be stored, pawned, liquidated, inherited, and used in any situation. And you can start today with as little as 100 ringgit at a time. No need for a big capital. No need to be an expert. What matters is that you start protecting yourself and your family with an asset that truly has value. Don't wait until you become someone who only has screenshots but no savings. And if you want to learn more in depth about real saving strategies, kaizerdibrahim.com. I'm not telling you to get rich tomorrow, but I want to help you avoid regret in the future because one day, there will be two types of people. Those who save gold and those who talk about how they once bought Bitcoin, but now it's all just a memory. And if you want to know more about the many advantages of physical gold, don't forget to watch this video next. Good night.